Okay, Hare Krishna. Thank you for joining. So we will start with the prayers. Namam Vishnupadaya Krishna Presthaya Bhutale Shrimate Bhakti Vedanta Swamin Niti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Pashat Dishatarine Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Om Ajnanatimirandhasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Vancha Kalpatarubhyasya Kripa Sindhubhya eva cha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Ananta Kuri Vaishnavrinda ki cha Jagat Guru Shila Prabhupada ki cha Nitya Gaur Premanande Hare Hare Bol. Okay, just a minute. Yeah, all right. So yesterday, what we discussed was how the Sankshepa. 1 minute, sorry. Yes. So yesterday we discussed that about the brief history of Valmiki Maharshi, and also how Narad Muni came to his ashram and he gave some association. At that time, Valmiki asked this question: is there a person with these 16 qualities whom I can see with my eyes right now? So now a question might come: why did he get such a question? No, isn't that a thing? You see, right now, did we ever get a question that is there a person right now whom I can see with my eyes and all that? No. But Valmiki got it. That is there a person with whom I can, no, with these 16 qualities whom I can see now? The reason is that because Sita Mata, Sita Devi, Mother Sita is living in his ashram at that point. So this is very important. So if you understand, so this had happened, this Narad Muni meeting with Valmiki had happened after almost till Yuddhakanda, the first 6 cantos of Ramayana was over. After that, when Sita Devi was like exiled, and Rama ordered, leave her next to Valmiki's ashram. So then Sita Mata was in the Valmiki ashram. At that time, Valmiki Maharshi got this thought. And she was exiled in pregnancy. And she was in, at that time, Valmiki's ashrama. So, after the 9 months of that pregnancy, she gave birth to 2 sons, Lava and Kusha. So if you know what this Lava Kusha are, basically, there is a grass, very auspicious grass. It is called Darbha. It is used in every ritual in Vedic life. Any ritual, you start the day with Darbha grass. It is very pure. So the tip of that Darbha grass is called Kusha. And the bottom part of that grass is called Lava. So when they were born, right, Valmiki Maharshi used this grass and invoked certain mantras into that grass to protect the boys from any demonic influence. because again, this is a shastric evidence that the young children, young babies, right? If you touch their head on the top, you can see there will be a kind of uh, skull will be very tender, and in between there could be a hole. If you press it, you can understand the skin goes inside, little bit inside, so that doesn't get closed. So as he matures, that area, that skull closes. So that is why sometimes he can see or he can feel the things. A boy, baby can feel the things which normal adults cannot feel. He can see there are sometimes even the demigods, sometimes different other living beings which are not visible to our naked eye. So to protect from especially the ghosts and the demons, demoniac nature, Valmiki had used that darbha grass. So the baby which was protected by the kusha, the tips of that darbha, he is named as Kusha, and the baby who was the boy who was protected with the lava or the bottom portion of darbha, he is named as lava. So when they were actually growing, right, that is when this incident had happened. And it is the blessings of Sita Mai, Mother Sita. It is the blessing on Valmiki that he got this question right now. And why is that? Because this is a great incarnation. And Ramayana has to be propagated and preached. And for that reason, she actually came there. And she has given her sons for this purpose. So Sita Mai, Mother Sita, gave 2 disciples to Valmiki Maharshi to take this Ramayana and preach. You see, Ramayana is so great that that Mother Sita herself gave 2 children to propagate that. And later on, we will discuss why Rama and Sita have to live apart for separately for much of their life. There's a reason again for that also. All right. So today I'll start from this, that Valmiki Maharshi, after listening the Sankshepa Ramayana from Narad Muni, his heart was filled with devotion to Lord Ram. So then Valmiki Maharshi, he worshipped his guru, and then Narad Muni left that place. So by this time, all this had happened, it became afternoon. And every Sandhya, that means the morning Sandhya, the afternoon Sandhya, and the evening Sandhya, that means during sunrise, at noon, and sunset. These are called the Sandhya Kala, Sandhya times. The Brahmanas are supposed to do, not only Brahmanas, anyone who is wearing the sacred thread, they do Gayatri or they do Sandhya Vandan. It's a ritual that they have to do. So this Sandhya Vandanam, Valmiki Maharshi has to do 3 times a day, morning, afternoon, and evening. So before doing that, they have to take bath first. So both Valmiki Maharshi and his disciples, they reached the banks of Tamasa river. It is one of the tributary of Ganga. And Valmiki Maharshi was walking on the banks of that Tamasa river. And you see the shlokas that he is mentioning, akardamamidam tirtham bharadvaja nishamaya ramaniyam prasannambu sanmanushyamano yatha. He's saying, oh my dear Bharadvaja. Bharadvaja is one of the disciples. Okay. Behold this shallow place like of the river. It is very clear. without any dirt. And it is so pleasant, just like Lord Ram. So whatever he sees, he's seeing pleasantness everywhere, and he remembers Lord Rama. And he says, just like how one would say to a small baby, he's saying, my dear Bharadwaja, keep this kamandalu here, the jug, keep this jug here. Give me the garment. I will enter the shallow waters of the Tamasa river. So who will say like this? Normally a parent would say to a very small kid, when you have extreme love for your kids, you'll speak very softly to them. If you're overflowing with love, you'll speak so softly. And it is mentioned that when mothers are when they are overflowing with love, the milk comes out of their breasts. This is mentioned Srimad Bhagavatam, when Rukmini Devi, when she lost her son, and later when after 18 years or for 15 years or so, when he came back, looking at him, the milk came out of his breast. So all these things happen, although their age have passed that age, but these signs are there. When extremely mother affection comes, this will happen. So when that ecstatic love comes to your kids, you speak very softly. So Valmiki Maharshi was completely in love of Lord Sri Ram. And that is why he was also filled with love for even the exterior world, his creation. So when he was looking at his disciple, he was feeling the love and compassion, just like a parent or father. And how Bharadwaja was faithfully following him and doing all the services, he remembers Lakshmana, how Lakshmana was serving Rama. So he was completely filled with all, the fully Ramayana. So when they were at the banks of Tamasa river, and they were returning to ashrama, they finished their duties, and they were returning to ashrama. So the disciple would also take bath, and then he would change, and then the disciple will wash the leftover garments of his guru and squeeze them. Since they used to wear the bark garment, it's a normal wash only. And they were returning to ashram. While they were returning, they saw two young birds. Okay, one male and one female bird. And in Ramayana, it is referred to as Krauncha Pakshi. Maybe something like a swan, you can think. And these two birds, they were enjoying with one another. The male bird was flying over the female bird, and vice versa. And they were very happy with each other. At this time, in a distant place, a hunter saw them, and he took his bow and arrow. Immediately, he shot the male bird. The male bird fell down, and he's reeling with the blood-covered wings, and he was crying in pain. And this male bird was about to leave its body. Looking at that, the female bird was shouting in a very deep sorrow, like she was lamenting. She was making all kinds of screams and sounds. And when this Valmiki and his group, they saw tears were flowing from the eyes of Valmiki Maharshi out of mercy. He could not bear the pain of others. And he immediately shouted at the hunter, and he cursed. He said, Ma nishada pratishtham tvamagamaha shashvati samaha yat kraunchamithanadekam avadhihi kama mohitam. He said, so the meaning of this is, O hunter, why did you kill a bird when they were enjoying themselves? For that reason, you will not have fame for very long, or you will not get a state of rest for everlasting years to come. In other words, you may not live long. So when Valmiki Maharshi cursed like this, his disciples also heard. And Valmiki Muni was repenting. He immediately started repenting. Why? Because as a great Maharshi, he should not have scolded or cursed like that. A great sage, he does not curse. Just give me one moment. Yeah, sorry. So a great sage should never curse. He should understand all these things are happening by the laws of nature. And when we say laws of nature, there are like these different modes, samoguna, rajoguna, sattvaguna, all of them are playing around. And something which is not in your control, you're not responsible for that. So he repented. He thought, oh, I should not have cursed. So, and like this, they were returning. But Bharadwaja Muni and the other disciples, they were thinking about this verse and they said, how beautiful this verse is. Ma nishada pratishtham tvamagaha shashvati samaha yat kraunchamithanadekam avadhihi kamamohitam. This is like, he started this verse with a curse. But the munis, the other disciples, everyone, they were actually shocked. Disciples were shocked to see that how could a curse become so beautiful. And they found that this scolding or curse, it fits into the authentic music, Karnataka music or Hindustani music. It fits into that meter exactly. It has all great characteristics. All the words, they perfectly fit into proper meter. Like how the Vedic chants meter they have, right? Like that. And they were chanting and they were thinking, how is it possible? This sentence has 4 verses. It is so suitable that it can be played as a song even on an instrument. And that's why we call it as a shloka. Shloka is a Sanskrit verse, but not anything or everything becomes a shloka. Only that verse which fits into some meter is called a shloka. Which can be sung over some musical instruments, they are called shloka. So when they returned to their ashrama, immediately it became viral. The shloka became viral. And even the pastime that Valmiki Maharshi cursed the hunter, but that shloka is so nice. And when other students were chanting, everyone are feeling happy. And even Valmiki Maharshi was feeling delighted to hear that verse again and again. See, if you curse for someone, you don't like to repeat that curse again and again. But this one was very special. Every student in the Gurukul started chanting this verse all the time. Like how we chant Hare Krishna mantra, they were chanting this verse all the time. The more they chanted, it was becoming more and more pleasurable. And there were so many meanings that were coming out of this verse. And that is the reason why it is so pleasurable. So when they were thinking exactly at that time, they saw, see, Valmiki Maharshi is bewildered. The students are bewildered. Everyone are stunned. How it is possible? Guru is also stunned. So when they were thinking like that time a bright effulgent light, it landed from the sky into the courtyard of the ashrama. And when that light came closer and closer, Valmiki realized that it was Lord Brahma himself. And immediately, Valmiki Maharshi, he fell at the lotus feet of Brahma. He invited Lord Brahma into his ashram. He offered a nice higher seat, worshipped him. He gave a very nice hospitality, and he served Lord Brahma. Now, after all the service and worship was over, Brahma asked Valmiki Maharshi that you also sit close by. So he also sat. So although Valmiki Maharshi sat there, but in his mind, he's disturbed. He's feeling pleasure, at the same time he's disturbed. He's disturbed because he cursed. And pleasure, why that? How could this curse become so beautiful? And his mind was absorbed in that verse. Outwardly, he was talking to Brahma, but inwardly, his mind was absorbed in Ramayana and that verse and this one. So Brahma, he knows everything. So he recognized this. And he said, you see, you spoke a wonderful verse. It was by the will of the Supreme Lord that such a curse turned out beautiful. And you know why? That's because my consort Saraswati Devi blessed you to write this Ramayana. And what is the meaning of that? Of this verse? The other verse is, he says that, O Sita Rama, you will have fame all the time and everywhere because you have killed Ravana, who was completely engrossed with sense enjoyment with Mandodari. So this is the another meaning. Ma Nishada, Mam. Mam is nothing but, we say Madhava, right? What do you mean by Madhava? Dhava means husband. And Ma means Lakshmi. So Lakshmi's husband is Madhava. So here, Ma, Nishada, is actually referring to Sita Devi. So it is glorifying Sita Rama. And that is why this became a mantra itself. So Brahma is saying that just like this curse, curse shloka came similarly, like this verse, right? Valmiki Maharshi didn't have to think so much and compose this verse. Normally, when you compose any shloka, especially when you compose a shloka, you need to think twice, thrice, whether it is fitting that meter, everything properly. But spontaneously, this verse came out of Valmiki. So Brahma is saying, similarly, you will be able to compose the entire history of Lord Rama. And I'm blessing you that if you sit here thinking of the Lord, you can see what has happened in the whole Ramayana clearly. And you can also see what one is thinking inside also. So by that time, all the Yuddha Kanda, the first 6 Kandas are finished. So it is a past. So he will be, Valmiki will be able to even understand what the person, each person in that whole history of Ramayana, what he's thinking inside also. So he says, Rahasyam cha prakasham cha yad vrittam tasya dhimatah ramasya sahasau mitre rakshasanam cha sarvashah. So you can all think even for inside All the rahasya means all the secrets will be revealed to you. You will be able to see all the adventures of Rama along with Lakshmana and how they both destroyed various demons. You will be able to see the plight, of Vaidehi. Vaidehyaschapi yat vrittam prakasham yadi varaha tachapya viditam sarvam viditam te bhavishyati. All the secrets will be revealed. The secrets that are revealed and revealed and unrevealed. That means in Ramayana, you will see why this has happened, why this has not happened. You will know those secrets. But the background of that, unrevealed secrets, also you will be able to see. Everything will be in detail. There will be no false or lie even in one word of your composition. See, Brahma is, before even composing the Ramayana, he is blessing Valmiki. Whatever you compose, it will not be false. There will not be even one word which is a lie. And this Ramayana will be very pleasing and hearing. It will yield a great merit. See, great merit. You will get a very great merit if you hear it or if you read it. And he said, this Ramayana will be there as long as there is creation, as long as there are mountains, as long as the rivers are flourishing on this surface of the earth, so long the legend of Ramayana will flourish in this world. So even before composition itself, he got all the blessings. So after Brahma blessed Valmiki, he disappeared from that. And everyone in the ashram, including Valmiki, he was amazed and they were astonished. So Valmiki then immediately, he did his Achamana. Achamana is like sipping the holy water, invoked water. He sat on a Darbhasana. Darbha, as I said, is very, very auspicious. He sat on a asana and he meditated on what his guru said. And again, the entire visualization of Sita, Rama, Lakshmana, not only them, all the people related to them as well, was seen to him. He could visualize them, just like watching movie. Then he composed the Ramayana looking at that visualizations. Now, so this is somewhere around the third chapter of Balakanda, the first Kanda we have. And here again, Ramayana is summarized. The birth of Rama, which is incarnation of Vishnu, his qualities, then Rama marrying with Sita, then, in short, I will say, then he got banished from the kingdom, and he went into the forest. They were wandering in the forest. They met many great sages. Then Sita Mata got abducted. Then Rama Lakshmana searching for her. They came south and they met Hanuman and Sugriva. Then taking their help, before that actually, Hanuman and all this monkey army, they went in all directions to search for Sita. Hanuman found Sita Mata in Lanka, gave her good, talked to her nicely and told that this is a plan, we're going to come, don't worry. And after giving that confidence, he returns and tells to Rama, and then Rama, he crosses the ocean by constructing a bridge and he kills Ravana. He comes back. So again, this is the second time the entire Ramayana is spoken in a concise form. And then Valmiki composed a futuristic story. So till now he has composed, right? Like till Sita Devi also gave birth to Lavakusha, and Lavakusha are there in the ashram. So he composed the past and he's also composed the present, and he also composed the futuristic story, the next, the future. And it says, he writes it, Chatur Vimshat Sahasrani Shlokana Muktavan Drishihi Tatha Sargashatan Panchashat Kandani Tathottaram. See, Tatha Uttaram. He's saying 24,000 verses have been composed. 500 chapters or sargas. Sarga means chapter. Okay, 500 chapters have been composed in 7 cantos, or basically Panchashat in the until 6 cantos, and then he Tatha Uttaram. That means after that again he compiled Uttara Ramayanam, and all this has happened when Rama is still living there. So after compiling this Ramayana, he held this entire composition in his hands, and he was thinking, who will propagate this great literature to the entire world? You need some propagator, right? Like, who will preach this? This Ramayana is not just like Vedic verse. It is Sanskrit, but it suits very well with musical instruments. So musical instruments can also be played. So when he was thinking like this, who would propagate this literature? He was in deep thought. Exactly at that time, Lava and Kusha, sons of Sita Rama, they came and they touched the feet of Valmiki. Immediately, he thought, yes, these are the disciples who's going to propagate this. And he thought, yes, this is the blessings of Sita Devi, that she has provided the preachers of Ramayana also. And that is the reason why she has come to my ashram. It is not that I am giving a shelter to her. Rather, I am at her shelter. I am living because of her blessings. And again he says, now he says to those Lavakusha, Kavyam Ramayanam Kritsnam Sitayash Charitam Mahat Paulastya Vadhamityeva Chakara Charitavrataha. He says to Lava and Kusha, I have given this name, this composition as Ramayanam. You can also say that this is the Sitayash Charitam, the history of Sita, or killing of the grandsons of Pulastya Brahma. Not the Brahma. Brahma's further descent is Pulastya. His name is Pulastya Muni, and his grandson is Ravana, killing of Ravana. So Valmiki Maharshi taught this Ramayana to Lava and Kusha. They learned this great literature, that too with music. So at first, they sang this entire Ramayana in the ashram. So all the sages, see, whenever there's a great sage ashrama is there, there will be other sages also automatically who would come, because they want to take the association of a great devotee. So they all will also gather there. So Lava and Kusha, they first sang, not recited, they sang this Ramayana in the ashrama. So all the sages immediately felt happy. They felt ecstatic listening to this composition. So as a gift, they wanted to give something to these kids. The small boys, they wanted to give something, whatever they have. But what will they have? And you cannot gift anything or everything to a brahmachari. Someone who is celibate and who is unmarried, a person should not gift anything or everything. So whatever is required for that brahmachari, that should be given. When he is matured enough to handle the worldly things, then you can gift. So one should be very careful in what you gift or you present to your children. So these sages, what they will have, so say sages were not having luxurious things. One sage, he had a deer skin, very good deer skin. Immediately he gave the deer skin. Other sage, he gave a sacred thread. Another one, he gave a water pot. Some of them gave singing instruments. Some of them gave a hatchet. Some of them gave undergarments, saffron cloth, headband, some sacrificial vessel they gave. And one of them gave a bundle of firewood sticks. Someone gave a pita, wooden plank, a seat. which is made of audambari. It's a special wood. With that wood, this seat was made. So one of the sage gave that, and other sages, they gave their blessings, and some of them were even giving their boons, and they kept glorifying this Ramayana. And after this, Maharshi, now he tested, okay, how is the Ramayana? The first recitation happened in the ashram. Now he wanted to propagate this, preach this Ramayana to the world. So Valmiki Maharshi took these kids to Ayodhya city itself. Because why? Where there was a sacrifice, there was a yajna that was happening. So this is Treta Yuga, the Yuga Dharma, the duty of everyone in that yuga to which duty? Spiritual duty, like how to become self-realized, is through the process of yajna. So when a sacrifice is done, all the people are engaged. Brahmanas are engaged in chanting the holy names and offering oblations into the fire. The Kshatriya, he takes care of all the he has the main power, right? So he has the money, so he constructs the Vedic arena, the sacrificial arena. He takes care of all the administrative duties required to conduct a sacrifice. Then Vaishyas, they would help in gathering all the paraphernalia required, samagri, which we say, all the things that are required for Vedic this yajna. And the Shudras will help in bringing the wood and all those things, and help the king maybe to build the structure or to carry the load. Everything they would help. So the entire human society is engaged in the yajna. And this was the process in the Treta Yuga. So Rama was performing. He was performing a great sacrifice there. And this is a right place, because when a sacrifice is happening, people from all over the kingdom, all over the world, they will come and congregate there. So that's a very good place to preach, because at one place, all the people have come. So they don't have to go door to door or town to town. All the important people have already arrived there. So Valmiki Maharshi, he selected a nice place, and he does, and where people can hear, and there will be more attention. He wanted to make sure that when these boys are chanting, Rama should hear them. So he selected such a place where Lord Rama, he frequently passes by that road. So again, Lava and Kusha, they started singing this Ramayana. And when he started, after some time, Lord Rama was passing through that side. And Lord Rama, he heard. And he felt so blissful hearing to that. His own story, but he felt so blissful. And he, for the time being, because he's acting like a human, he acted that he did not know that these were his kids, his children. So immediately he came towards their kids, and Valmiki Maharshi was not nearby at that time. Because if he's there, he might get to know that, okay, they might be my children. So Rama went to those Lavakusha and requested them, "Oh Muniputres, you would look like all the great, the sons of Munis, but you also look valorous like a king. So you're reciting this composition so nicely. Can you please come to my palace and sing them again?" So he brought the kids immediately to his palace, and he honored them. Just every king honors a brahmachari. Okay. And Rama asked all his mothers, his ministers, friends, brothers, relatives, everyone who are present there to come and sit in front of the dais and listen. So everyone were settled at that place and they were very attentively started listening to Srimad Bhagavatam. Actually, it's not there in the Valmiki Ramayana, but in some other Ramayana, it is mentioned that Rama also came down from his throne and he sat very close to that dais where he can hear to Lavakusha nicely. So now, Lavakusha, they start the Ramayana. So they start by first, 1 minute. Yeah. So he starts by describing the place, Ayodhya. So he said that there was a great capital city called Ayodhya. And people were all satisfied and happy. There is no one who is unhealthy there. Or there was no one was eating any unhealthy food. There is no laziness. There are no atheists. There were no cowards or no talentless people. That means everyone were having full of talents. No person would go against their duties and the rules. And there is no person with any worry. Their jails were empty. There was no mentally disabled people. There were no deceased people. And no one was dying early. And if people are so happy, it is because of the proper ruling of the king. And that king is Dasharatha Maharaj. He was ruling such a great kingdom. And he used to give so much in charity to the qualified people. He kept all his citizens happy. His senses, Dasharatha Maharaj's senses are in control. And his enemies were also under control. This is very important for a king. Okay. See, you cannot control your enemies unless you control your senses first. First control. That is why. So first, if you control your senses, then you can control all the other enemies, external features easily. So, however, although Ayodhya was so glorious, Dasharatha Maharaj did not have any progeny or kids. And so he understood that because of his bad karma and sins, he is not having any children. So he wanted to perform an Ashwamedha Yajna, a sacrifice, a horse sacrifice. So he called all his ministers and sages like Vasishtha, Jabali, and they put forward his thoughts in front of them. And they also felt very happy and they blessed them. And they said, yes, you can start this yajna at the northern banks of Sarayu River. Okay, so with this, I stop and we can continue tomorrow.